Well, the lights never go out as Power illuminates Riyadh again here and gets themselves another Erangel on the board. Great stuff by them to be able to take out this Lumberhill Yard finish. And I've got 7, as well as Neptura, to talk about this. Power is basically confirming themselves in the grand finals here, Neptura.
They really are. I mean, they're doing what we've seen time and time again from them. I really like that this is a formula that is working, and so they're just using it. Picking apart a few teams over on the edge side in the mid-game, just kind of creating a little bit of space, waiting, holding back, and then when somebody's busy, just come in and control the whole circle. It works. It's a strategy that's working for them, and they're really using it to their advantage. I mean, 18 points on the board. Like you said, I think we're kind of looking at them being a finalist team here.
I agree with that. I think for this team, I mean, they had the compound for the longest time too, which kind of allowed them for everybody else just to fight it. 18 points is what you want to see. I'm a little bit scared though from some of the teams that we're not seeing towards this first page, which is going to be Regnum Karya. That's a team that earlier when we saw the overall, they just were very close to that 8th place. Same with Team Falcons. I feel like this was a much better game out of this team, and I really enjoyed how quickly they were able to react to Alpha 7's push to the last player of Jungle Galacticos, but I did not enjoy that fight.
Well, we'll get to that. Let's take a look at our 9th through 16th as well here. For some of these teams like Arena, for example, I think that they know that they've pretty much done what they need to do. But again, a little bit uncharacteristic for Random Carrier to... I felt like they had a good day one here, Neptura, but nothing's really materialized. I thought it was going to materialize in this game, actually, considering the position in the circle alongside the hillside here, but also not much really working for them.
I think it really just goes to show you that even if you have the position, if you don't do anything with it, nothing's going to really happen.
Oh, agreed, yeah.
And so it's like, I almost feel like they kind of think they've already made it, and so it's like, oh, we're just going to have a quiet day, and it's like,
no.
Well, you got a lot of teams right next to you that think they haven't made it and are going to work very, very hard. So I would like to see a little bit more from them, but maybe, you know, coming into that Miramar, they're more confident on Miramar. We could see a big thing from them.
For Regnum Karya, they ended in a fight with 2 different teams. They ended up against Fireflux, and then they just became overpowered by R8. R8 playing that wonderfully, which I'm hoping that it kind of continues, because I'm intrigued to see where R8 is going to end up being on the leaderboard.
Definitely so. As we take a look at some of the highlights from all of this, you can see some shots going towards Falcons towards the end. Falcons, of course, did survive for quite a long time in this game. However, we will watch back a very important fight, which feels like... do we even really start talking about it? Because it feels like both teams, Falcons and Alpha 7, are kind of in panic mode at the moment. Some of that fight between those two teams was a bit of a catastrophe.
It's just clown music in my head just over that whole fight. Like, and I say that very lovingly as a huge fan of Falcons. Why? Just why? And I know I'm being very brutal here, but it has to happen at some point because you don't, when you're at this level, when you're as good as they are, as I know they are, Alpha 7 included, you do not miss that many nades. You do not get a full reset just to get naded. It doesn't where was Carrillo? Where was he? He was at the top of the hill.
Here we are.
He did nothing.
So taking a look at this once again, Alpha 7 actually had quite a few players knocked down towards the bottom position here, 7, but nothing really was able to convert from it. They were concerned, I think, about the off angle of Carrillo. Was pivotal, and it did not work.
Yeah, I mean, you could have just low tossed it on top of that. We have where's Maxman when you need him? This could have possibly been the Maxman grenade of the day because he almost ended up knocking his teammate. And where was Carrillo? Carrillo, in a way, even though he wasn't right there, I felt like he ended up making the right decision by just holding the high ground and hoping that if you do end up losing your teammates, guess what? At least you'll be able to maybe try to clutch up some extra placement points. But yeah, this back and forth was just crazy. I do also enjoy the reaction time out of Power. They saw this fight and they heard this fight going on for so long that at one point they were like, okay, you know what? We're going to be keeping tabs on it and we're going to end up just pushing forward towards you guys.
Yeah, it was really nice to see that they, again, are listening to the lobby, watching that lobby and going, hey, actually, they're fighting. Let's take advantage of this. They're taking a little bit too long over this as well. Something's going on there. They're struggling. Let's take advantage of that struggle and actually prioritize us.
You can see towards the end of the game, the reactions on the Alpha 7's faces as well. It is desperation time now because they're currently on, I think, 39 points. And the cutoff point for 8th place is 62 points. We are staring down the barrel here, 7, of losing our defending champions here at PMWC.
You're saying that like they still have a chance? In my head, like to be completely honest,
the trigger is about to be pulled.
Yeah, I feel like, and I even said at the beginning of the day, for Alpha 7 to even have a chance at being in the top 8, they would have to get the win because now going into this fight, guess what? Even though Team Falcons create the tiniest of cushions, all those teams towards the top, I mean, Fireflux, we already saw it in this past match, especially earlier into the Erangel. They had a 1-1-1 split. That team just really didn't give a damn. They have nothing to lose. You're already in first place, and if you do end up maybe going to second place, you're still going to be going to grand finals, which is what they came here for. So Alpha 7 is going to have to figure something out.
As a team like Alpha 7, you would need to shore up your defenses arguably before those Miramars, right, Natura? Because some of these teams up towards the top that really understand that they could potentially be a threat. If they do turn on in that grand finals, they could quite easily try and hit where Alpha 7's going on Miramar.
It's entirely possible, which would really be unfortunate because I will say, as much stick as we're giving Alpha 7 right now, in that game, in that last Erangel, A7 actually had some really nice rotations. Like there was some nice splits, some nice rotations. You could see they were trying to get back to normal a little bit. If they get hot dropped on a Miramar, if they get targeted for whatever reason,
right,
and they don't get that chance, then they're in a lot of trouble.
Well, we were concerned Gawax was going to take them out there in that game as well. On the eastern side, right? They had 2 knocks on them. Once again, they'd already eliminated them when it came to what was going on in Sandhawk. So I know that we keep harking on about it, but this is important. This is our defending champion. This is a big deal.
I feel like to just kind of recap everything that's going on here, you actually just said it best. You can just see that these players and these teams are just kind of grasping for something, especially when it comes down to Alpha 7. The push that they did on Yangon Galacticos, they had so much room to work with, and then decided to actually just go for a fight with just one player instead of just looking to control a big area for this squad. So just a questionable plays, by the way, R8. My goodness. Can I just take a second to talk about this team a little bit more? Because they were just so impressive to me. This was a team, just like with Alpha 7, you were saying in the turret, you were saying the rotations were on point. This was a team that's just being aggressive. They're taking their future into their own hands. They were being aggressive. By the way, this comparison is R8 against Yangon Galacticos, a team that they're currently trying to hunt down for 8th place. Yeah. And I really like the aggressiveness that I saw of RA in the last match.
Of course, this head-to-head brought you by the Saudi National Bank here between RA and Yangon Galacticos. I'm been impressed at how some of these teams have been able to try and ramp things up, but it's still do or die for both of them when it comes to that barrier position. And of course, you guys can be involved over at home as well whilst watching everything that's going on here at the PUBG Mobile World Cup. The PUBG Mobile Airdrop Carnival is now live in-game this weekend from August 1st to the 3rd. Log in and summon surprise airdrops and collect 2025 airdrop vouchers to enter prize draws for official merchandise, smartphones, BD partner awards, permanent in-game items and more. Every participant is guaranteed to win, so get it going, guys, out there. Additionally, if you jump into the game now, you can vote for your favorite airdrop partner. You might even score some awesome surprise gifts from them, so don't delay, get that going. And Neptura now with Miramar on the cards, what are you looking out for?
Regnum Karya to actually do something a little bit more. I think Miramar's their map. They're going to do something.
They have to. They have to show up their defenses, right?
They do. Yeah,
Yeah?
really, really do.
How about yourself, Seven?
I'm going to be looking at the squad that we were just looking at. I'm going to be looking at Influence Rage. Influence Rage coming into yesterday, after yesterday, I should say, the best maps that they ended up playing was those Miramars. That's when they were actually able to get 7th place, 2nd place with 7 eliminations. They need to back that up today, and today they've done just enough to maintain themselves. They're close to that top 8.
I have to pose the question, what are we going to see here on the desert? Thank you very much, guys. Now we head over to the casters for the penultimate match. One final opportunity with only Miramar on the line here to see if you can qualify to the grand final.
Power there saying simmer down, let it build, Blank, let it build, and let's see what the results will start to look like. Of course, 2 games remain at the end of the survival stage. If you want to stay up to date with all the action, why not head over to the official map feed as well, that's now live on PUBG Mobile Esports on YouTube, so you can follow the action and stay up to date as it goes down to the nail-biting conclusion, Blank, and that's what we're going to be in store for.
To be some loco gameplay coming through.
Oh yeah,
from some of these teams to get towards the top, but it will have to be a madness. Some of these squads towards our top side in the top 8 will have to have a bit of a fail if they want to drop down here too much. We do have teams who are confirming themselves over towards that top side, like what Nongshim Red Force did in that last game, able to get a lot of eliminations. They're not looking for those placement points. They're looking to just push those boundaries where they can. Power looks fantastic right now, and even Fireflux is looking a little bit worried that they might catch them on this next playing path that's coming through here over on Miramar. Slight change of pace here. Some teams are slightly better at this map than others. In the past, Alpha 7 has absolutely been phenomenal on Miramar. Yeah, they'll have to do that twice, actually.
Sort of never alone smiling there. Seems like the energy's good in the camp, but will the results be even better for them? They've had some near misses, some uncomfortable games where it felt like a what if. They could have squeezed more out of it today, Blank, but I think that really has been the issue. Each time it's resulted in it not being enough for them. 11th place, just mere points ahead of Alpha 7, the defending champions, of course, of last year's title. They took home the trophy and all the glory, but it's not happening here.
Power Esports 93 points to Fireflux's 94. I didn't think it'd be that close, but it certainly is, as we are on the very much southern end of things here. Hello. Figuring out phones over there. I like it. A blast from the past.
Oh yes. Supporting in the audience. The family, the friends, everyone there watching on. And that's all you really can do, on look. Whilst everyone in their squads, the 4 players in each of our teams, look to really carve a path for themselves and decide whether or not they're going to be able to make it out of the survival stage. Only 8 of the squads left.
Check that, Al-Hadji actually takes 1st place spot in terms of highest damage, ahead above Scarface and Ketch. Starting to live with his dream. It's kind of nice that the duality there going on, where it's easy. He's been putting in a lot of work, and so is Scarface, and then that real firepower on the team coming through from Ketch and Al-Hadji have both stepped up in the meantime. It's nice being able to rely on your teammates, knowing they have your back even when you're not feeling it, and suddenly the beast from within can be revealed at very, very important times as well here in the survival stage. But it's a big leap right now up towards 2nd and 1st place. So right now it is just kind of the battle between Power Esports as well as Fireflux to have that very fun opportunity when we get towards the end. Power Esports in the air. Getting into position. It's not been an easy start to this game on the playing path.
They're soaring. In reality, you know, it's probably for the best that Sky's the one flying. You wouldn't want a sleepy pilot.
No, you would not. Goodness me.
That'd be terrifying.
I would be worried, scared almost. He's having it now.
Oh, wake up, quick.
We're gliding. Oh, we're inverted. Okay.
And we're about to be landing in 3, 2, 1. Clean landing.
You know what? Actually, perfect.
Yeah.
It was a perfect landing. Did just have word from 7, saying that Falcons can now take El Pozo, and Alpha 7 giving that one up. To be honest, it's cool that Falcons just go for that aggressive maneuver as well. Alpha 7 forced to a case of, well, do we really want to take the chance here at going down early? I mean, even if they lose one player, they cannot afford to have that. They need to have a 4-man finish if they want to have enough firepower in that end game to clean things out smoothly and also have the chance to sweep. So for Falcons, I think that's a very cool maneuver, because you are preying on the mentality coming through from Alpha 7 there.
Intense game here as well. Up against Vision. Bit of chip damage exchanged between both squads. Seeing if they can actually find a way to get a read on this, not expose themselves to both the angles that are in play with the 2-2 split, but never alone, being able to get the adjustment shot off onto Silence. So a connection in there. That's Vision being able to get at least the first knock onto Intense game.
Silence down, pretty good player for the team as well. They sort of need him up, and you see Never Alone here pushing up, saying earlier, you know, despite the position they're in, still seemed happy. And I mean, some teams do get this event just getting through towards that. It's his push back down again. Mini 14 in the hands of Never Alone, but the Molotov might just do the trick. It pops a little bit far back though. Doesn't quite spread over towards Rafa.
Never Alone swinging on the angle, actually loses it. Up close and personal versus Rafa, he's able to withstand the might of Never Alone, and the rest of the Vision squad now has to push up together. Volt has been incredibly crisp. With a Mini 14 from distance, he tries to tap back, but Rafa, he is all over him like a rash right now. You cannot stop him. Peak after peak. HP.
Rafa finds another. How is he doing this? Not even bothered about the HP count. It is giving him the pressure to push on here. One shot, one tiny burst of a nade would have done the trick. And Rafa still going. Health bar not even on the screen here for us. Dear, dear me. What a performance from him there. Ultra instinct of a moment. And Vision sent back.
Realistically limping away as well. I mean, it's just Marcelo, that's all that's left. You think about how clean that could have been. Like, Never Alone, actually from the angle he's in, he gets the first knock, he knows he's going for the res, you get the nade on the close angle, knocks him again. That 1v1 would have made the difference, them being able to... He's done that single-handedly. Hell of an adrenaline rush there from Rafa.
Oh, man, hooked up to the life support machine, but not done yet.
The circle head over towards the western side. I think most teams will be happy about this as well, purely off the back of that plane path. Alpha 7 had to go a long distance to make this work up towards Torre Armada, which is so uncharacteristic of them.
They'll be coming in late towards the circle. Not only that, they'll have to figure out different rotational paths. I mean, they've been playing the game for years upon years upon years, so they should know this map like the back of their hand regardless. It's just a case of a lot of that research into rotations and how they affect their usual ones. Won't quite cut it. Yeah, that's not how cars usually driven. That's Benny the Billy Goat.
Wow. It's impressive stuff. Inventing new ways to use automobiles this late into the survival stage.
Some sticky tires indeed. Gets up there. Climbing boots on, the wheels. And now has a good location to work with. You can see just how central Nongshim Red Force are. Around Picardo on this top side, I think this is a lovely position to set up. We have seen quite a few times though, Jackie, in the past, you know, teams and players setting up on these spots, getting taken down early, and then you have that issue where you lose a player, you don't have anyone to res them, and then suddenly your position becomes quite compromised. You have to be careful on that spot, on that position. You quick and easy knock, you'll go for it, but no more than that. Especially from that position too. I mean, you have a lot of stock to get towards that late game. Well, you did. You really did. Until this circle comes into play, which is hellish. Hard shift over this way. Many teams left in the lurch on that south side. AX having to get a move on. Falcons and A7 actually coming out looking very, very good off the back of this one, smelling like roses.
Throwing them a bone they very well do need. Obviously a lot of targets on the heads for Alpha 7, I think, going into this one as well. You can see that's why it was the heads-up calls. Them off the drop spot, see if you could influence the overall game, make them feel like not only is it uncomfortable in the team, it's uncomfortable in the actual battleground itself. So we'll see if they can recover from the position versus vision. Some stalwart defense, great heads-up calls, the peaks he was going for. Kari, a bit of a different beast though. They drive by, they both take vision onto one another, they pull up towards the compound, looking to keep their heads down, not run the risk of getting into a fight that is uncomfortable for them.
Yeah, little do they know that they just escaped a scenario with Rafa, the triple tapper, managing to get into some cover, playing around concrete. It's a good position. It's forward as well, over towards where Horror is currently playing as they make that rotate from earlier on. Yangon, AX, as well as R8, very late to this one, but I think they realize that and they can't really afford to make that quick ramp. A lot of teams were a little bit close to this one, especially when you're going through that Picardo ridge side as well. Position, a nasty nade threaded through.
Al Haji has been on the money with these nades. Ooh, backstab though. Set up from Pedrino, he's able to hit that one heavy. Al Haji down. Adrian as well, pushing in close. Missed shot on the first peek through the doorway. Back up in there, Ragnar with the DVS. Withstands the push. Nade in, danger close. Forced to heal up now and play off one another.
Five looks off in the distance. Pedrino goes down stairs and will pick himself up. A lot of elims off the back of that. It was a clean engagement, a great backstab, an assassination of a play with the Fireflux team. As the full squad, the tag goes through, so they have a rough idea of where he's playing, and those nades are not going to stop anytime soon.
We had Rafa looking very talented earlier, but now, like you say, it's up to Pedrino to be the punisher, to keep his team alive in this one. No opportunity to get his mate back up. It's all on him as a solo to withstand this crash that's come in from Fireflux. They had the timing to backstab and third party onto power, cleaned up there, bursting through the door. They shut down the opening man in Rafa, nade through the top. That's nice, and they close it out.
Fireflux won't lose a single member off the back of that one, getting 4 points, so succeeding where power failed and cementing back towards that first place position. Gamax holding off versus Influence Rage. This is fairly central. A very interesting circle here as well, Jackie. A lot of high ground to work with, which is going to isolate a lot of these fights until very much in the late game when we head through to stage 7, stage 8. There is a lot of opportunity to find positions on the map which you feel comfortable in and then sit around there for quite some time.
Laser focus from the Gamax squad. You can see the comms there coming.
Yeah. It's not a bad spot either towards this ditch. Having 4 vehicles is a massive boon to them. What they can do with this one as well is stay out of sight, out of mind, but be extremely central as well. So they can make the decision on the next circle of where they'd want to go. It should keep them in, it's just in terms of positioning. And this is very much just a pause on their gameplay. And they'll listen to the sweet pause beats whilst the rest of these teams have a roam around.
It's interesting as well, though. Obviously, Marcelo, his entire squad going down instantly to open this one up, with Rafa handling them very easily. He's been able to keep himself alive and just out of dodge, barely in the back line behind Fireflux. It's a 2-2 split from them, with Scarface further down, catching the back line. Always feels like he's so useful from distance as well. It's his preference, being able to support the team, set him up. Scarface, he loves to get aggro.
It's kind of funny, right, in the way that that's happened, where Scarface in the past has been absolutely the long-range specialist for the team, but we're seeing a lot more where Scarface is moving over towards that front line and Ketch is playing the back line for them. So it's a complete role reversal into this one. But it's also comfortable to switch those roles frequently, because that does hamper you, because, you know,
can't afford to be one note in reality.
much prefer that double quaver, quick off the beat. That's not going to be the case for a lot of teams here. It's going to be a slow rollout. Circle doesn't really confirm onto anything too drastic here. Still that high ground towards that south side is open. The ditch that Regnum Kai is playing is nice. Quite a few open areas in terms of the rows that cut through on that northeast side. You can hear there is plenty of fighting. And is that Regnum Kaya losing?
They've been gifted a bounty of eliminations off the back of that. And of course, the last player is miles out of position as well. Ridge side angle up on top. Effectively trapped on an island. And it's the Falcons that are underneath. Slowly skulking their way further forward. They were a little bit more split. They've grouped up now.
Finale could be a bit of an issue for them, though. He's hidden. Versus Fireflux, and there's one. Narvalo, I think he took 2 shots there. Should be down? No? Yeah. So Narvalo once again goes back to a spectating ball, but I need to stop beating that horse at this point.
It was the quick crash in as well from Nonching Red Force. Obviously, that's worked out relatively easily for them. So the duo from Fireflux that were further ahead have been caught there. Oh, even Catch just barely getting away. Sliver of health. Free haircut, but he's still breathing for now.
We'll drop some smoke. He's very exposed. Fireflux, not ideal. Right? Nonching Red Force, they saw an opportunity and did absolutely go for it. Fireflux was a little bit slow across the road there. Nonching Red Force took a couple of knocks, but it was a 4v2 advantage. A pretty easy cleanup. But now, Valo, I think that there is an instance where if you know someone's up there, you kind of want to send another player with him. As you imagine that scout there was for that reasoning. They know a player's in the vicinity as well, so you did get somewhat of a scout coming through. Alpha 7 playing on this north side and playing. Because of that is there is so many points of interest around this map that you can see here. I mean, you've got the ruined town up towards that north side for Alpha 7. You've got this big overlook coming here where we're watching Falcons play down towards the south side, and then that real intense area over towards that eastern side, which is just filled with teams because of the ridge sides that are available and the little space that you want to cut through on this central circle because of this road and valley. So you are closing a lot of teams together on this eastern side, and that's only going to happen a little bit more as this next circle hits us over towards the east.
AX there. You can see Nonching Red Force as well, committing to find follow-ups on the Fireflux. Handling them easily. Solus was the first to fall. Follow-up onto Catch, so both down and out. The team is removed, so the squad unable to accrue much more from that one. 4 elim game for them, bringing them up to 98 points overall. And the bat AX as well. Really in position here where E-Arena are going to be looking to go from strength to strength. And this could give them some good momentum in the standings if they can find the play off this one.
But E-Arena already on 3 elims playing on this eastern side. It's going to be a bit of a brutal rollout for them to get over towards AX, but they are hurting. They're definitely hurting. They've sent a bit of damage over their way. Looks like the resources are a little bit rough. Joker looking to send another nade over towards the top side there. Did find Ariane. A bit more damage poured in, and R8 looking to backstab on the eastern side. Regnum Kai has played a blinder on that ditch, by the way. That is some good knowledge of the map and where they wanted to go early. They held out Kenotrope when they tried to make a big crash over their way, and they have just been sitting pretty since.
Yeah, it's worked out very well for them. A team that we know can offer so much in a lobby like this. Oh, and for AX, it's not only from the front with E-Arena casting out nades to course the backstab from R8 that now look to swoop in off the damage done with those nades landing right on target. Hopping out the vehicles. Joker further down. Belly on the ground as well to assist. Still nades in the back pockets thrown in. AX must be so uncomfortable. You are just pinned in here. Henry with the smoke at least trying to buy time as they get close. You've got the shoddy to work with. The entire team just looking fragmented. It's only Henry that remains. Quick bandage to try and top himself up.
Cover to hide around on that delay between the shots. Henry will just watch R8 move a little bit further forward here. This is a good game though for 9 through 12. right? With Yangon Galacticos out and currently in 8th place. It's not a massive jump up that's required to challenge that position from Yangon Galacticos. Regnum Kaya would like for a big game here to confirm themselves further up and secure that position as we head up towards our last game. Mormon finds Henry, and Henry is found wanting.
With Henry going down, that's AX removed. And E-Arena hoovering up a lot of the points as well, so it still gives other opportunities for further squads to move up, like you said. A bit more literally here. They already found one knock over towards the Falcons, and they just keep adding, piling onto this. Koa's down. Redox as well takes a hefty hit. They can convert onto those. Vinny goes in with a DBS, so for the Falcons, it's so rough.
That vehicle's going up 100%. He has to get out soon and find some kind of cover. He holds it. Blow it up himself. Can't really go too far back at risk. Opening up an angle. Vision, Marcelo holding off R8. Dropping the smokes in, give him a little bit more room to play around with. Nongshim Red Force, love the playstyle. Love the playstyle from them. In every single game, at least trying to get above those 5 elims. And yeah, they're taking a lot of damage right now, but that's enough each game right now from the point standing they sit on to keep them inside that top 8.
Yeah, they're not going to be disappointed whatsoever with how this has flowed. Good elims, taking out some important teams as well. It's an ideal scenario for them. Hello Marcelo as well. The fact, obviously, he's still alive with Vision going down in like literally the opening fight since this game, and even being able to fully commit onto one of the R8 players, dip out like a bandit, make it off to the loot crate and set himself back up for potentially something a little bit later. Meanwhile, the battle continues with Hora diving in onto Alpha 7, squashed from the side, slapped upside the head. Nonshin finished off in the end there by Regnum Kaya. Carrillo realizing there's no opportunity for that one. He's got to jump back in the vehicle, try and create space between. But it is rough. Again, I mean, Sleepy just finding the prime target on it.
It's such a slow game from Alpha 7. It is so different from what we're used to. It's a nice nay, but not quite close enough. Willow drop him down to 10% there. Regnum Kaya, I think there's a case to be made that they got lucky, right? But still that initial rotation the whole game either. They have been taking shots where they can. They've been scouting their surroundings and ensuring they have a setup for the late game while still getting plenty of eliminations on board. They currently sit with 7 this game, which is fantastic to see for Regnum Kaya.
Oh yeah, they're still being proactive. And you can feel that shift in the standings. See how far they can go with this one. Good positioning, great crosshair placement as well. Prestige for the Rid side, peeking back down onto Alpha 7. This is R8, triple threat of players that are still alive. Taking that peek down. Have to work with. Revo's on his last legs. It's just a solo man. He's finished off again. Alpha 7 go down. Out of action here. No chance to find any points on the game blank.
And that's pretty much it for Alpha 7. I think on this next match, there is pretty much no possibility. They need to get 27 points alone to get towards 60 points and challenge against some of these teams. And with that, it's pretty certain the defending champions will not be going through to the finals.
Absolutely insanity. You think about the form we saw from them last year, the way they played, the blood, the sweat and the tears. Every game, they put it all in. Nothing was left before the lobby. This time around, it's been a very different team and it has not gone the way they needed. Survival stage. It has been just that, surviving for Alpha 7. And in these kind of situations, they just can't. Nothing left for them.
Yeah, you're right. Last year, PMWC 2024, they were scraping, screaming, shouting towards victory. And it's unfortunate here to see them go out with such a quiet finish. Hora over towards our northwest side of this arena. Currently looking to push through R8, who have not had a terrible game here. Honestly, done very well to control that eastern side, but as soon as they try to make an entrance over towards them. But it's Regnum Kaya now, stepping up, finding no fear. Silas with 40 bullets remaining on this Mini 14. They have been here for a long, long time. No chance at extra resource, and they've had to been very, very good when it comes to that resource management in general. Here comes Jiggle.
Jiggle and Prestige being the two that were looking to push up somewhat. Spot over onto him, so that finishes off far 8. Influence Rage have been able to sit pretty for so long as well inside of this compound, but the nade-in's good. Meanwhile, the healing feed keeps on going. Horror losing so much to Regnum Karia. Wow, they are on a heater right now, Blank.
Wild will go down, but Torchpick returns fire over towards Sleepy. Horu has been such a criminal force on the north side, has been arrested by Regnum Karia, and not only that, run down over towards Sleepy to add insult to injury. Regnum out, currently in 10th place, trying to set themselves up for a late game, and they need this match here, Jackie.
It was a misplaced nade as well that resulted in some downtime inside of the fight. They had to get each other back up with E-Arena running into some danger close action. Joker looking to get up close and personal though with the shotty in hand, and Regnum Karia realizing this is the opportunity to scout out. Silas moves into position whilst the fight continues, spams into the smoke, lowers it, gets onto that. Mormon as well falls to Diego.
Regnum Karia looking to shut this one down quick though. Little boy on that top side of the concrete, and he will be solid. Finds the first initial knock over towards Silas. Will flush him out. Looks for more on the drop down. Gets 2. An Influence Rage up to 5 E-Limbs. If they can get the chicken dinner, it will be a massive, massive start to their run at the end of the day to potentially take over Yangon Galacticos. But will Regnum Karia even care?
Lil Boy being the big man on that one. Makes all the right plays at the perfect time. Loxy with the rock face to work with, tucked in, looking for the elevated peak from the top. You can start to slow down the pace now. It was chaotic among the 3. But with the 2 squads remaining, knowing how important this is for either side, Influence Rage do not want to throw their opportunities away. Scout out from Loris in. Loxy locked on target. Clean connection shuts down one. Tosspick baiting them out to face. Little Boy goes in for the fight.
The nade, the only thing to keep them in this one. One sent out, Little Boy extremely low, will be taken down. Diego on the backside, that's at least a nade to keep this one going. Wild walks up, and it will be an easy finish. From the ditch, they were down low, but they end up on high for Regnum Karia, and that game will secure their position in the top 8. For Influence Rage, they were so close yet so far. Getting that 10 point in that game would have made their game so much easier going into our final match on Miramar. But they have much, much further to go now.
Fought hard, but that's a memory that could come back to haunt you, potentially leaving your fate up to other teams now, whereas Regnum Karia, they set it for themselves. Massive game, great positioning, but still, like we said, even though you had such a good angle, they were being able to be proactive on so many different fights, just hoovering up points after points, and then going on to close it.
5-pointer on that match is unreal stuff. Fireflux goes down early, gets a few points, but as does Power. We'll see how this all ends up in the final match on Miramar. But in the meantime, we got to head to a break. We'll see you soon.